ho. I'm gonna read you some poetry that I wrote because this is the internet, and when a hipster is on the internet, and that is what I am as a hipster, they are reading poetry or talking about some other thing like that. I'm sorry, I had to minimize that. I don't like to look at myself when I talk. But yeah, usually when I do this, I just go straight into the poetry, but I can't really say what it is actually right now that makes the difference, why I'm choosing to just film this bullshit and record it instead of just go straight to the piece. This is what I do. I'm a professional at it. I don't hold microphones all the time. Sometimes. I do smoke too much. Cigarettes are good. I guess while I'm here I should plug cigarettes. They control my life. So, kind of have to show some respect to something that controls your life, don't you? I think that's how it works. Yeah, you probably think this is pretty retarded. And it is pretty retarded. But if you're still watching it, you're pretty retarded. Did you turn it off yet? I just feel like there's something I want to say that I can't say to a specific person. In the internet you can say it to everyone, but in theory you're pretty... In theory, it's saying it to everyone. In reality, you're saying it to, 20, 50 people. But, the masses gotta hear it. The piece of poetry that I'm going to read you is called The Fool. I wrote it today. I've actually written a lot of poetry today. If you're lucky, I might even read more of it to you. If not, I might not read any of it to you. And then you'll look at this video and see it is an even bigger waste of time than it already is. It's like French cinema. You're just watching a man smoke a cigarette in black and white. It doesn't have to be in black and white. And I'm not a man, for that matter. Look, I can do all kinds of magic tricks to your fucking perception of reality. I am drugs. Here, wait. Look. The fuck is that shit? Right? Can I make his mouth move? No, I can't. Whatever, of course, he's a statue. See? I can do anything. Literally anything that I want. I guess that's why I'm doing this, is because I can do anything, and this is what I'm choosing to do. Hi, frozen people. Maybe this is how trees see things. Huh. Hey, look, color. I don't like color. Now, I really feel like there is a lot that I could say, and I guess it's probably out of some egomania, but I feel like there is probably a lot that I could say that could benefit people if they were willing to, not necessarily consider it, but not only consider it, but to hopefully counteract it, because I don't like people agreeing with me. I like when people argue what I'm doing, because if I'm not getting proven wrong, I'm not really making progress in anything, am I? You're not making mistakes, you're not learning how to do something right, whatever, blah blah. Japanese bullshit. But what is it that I can really say that anybody will actually take seriously or would actually make a difference? All I can do is sit here and express myself like this. And it's not even like I hope someone will listen. I'm not even really listening to myself. I just feel like maybe there should be some document of this existence. I couldn't tell you why, though. I mean, you're looking at it as plainly as I am. Even more plainly, you're looking at it literally in black and white. But I like it. I think this is a good lifestyle. It's kind of like that of a cat, except with more smoking, I guess. A cat doesn't... Cat will look at the trees for hours. It'll look at anything for hours. The same shit. Just walk around over and over because it's not traveling space, it's traveling time. And I feel like I'm usually in a state where I feel like I'm not really traveling time. More time is like a state of mind that I'm stuck in, that I'm racing against. But the fact of the matter is I am traveling forward in time. I am making progress. And the only way to make true progress, I think, is to accept the fact that you're making progress. And that's the feeling I have right now. That's the state that I'm in. I guess that's why I feel the need to document it. Or whatever you want to call this. Sure, it's mostly just to do with the ego, though. Even still, it's an interesting document on what somebody's ego can become. But I want to document this because I'm usually in a state of mind where I'm kind of not miserable. Well, not usually, but often in a state of mind where I'm very anti everything, pretty much, especially myself, beginning with myself, because everything begins with yourself when you're talking about the ego. But I don't hate myself, and I don't think anybody should hate themselves, and I don't think... It's weird. It's this would be interesting for me to watch, even sitting here debating with myself in my head whether or not I hate myself. No, I know I don't hate myself, but the fact that that's even a considerable option says a serious amount of negative implications about the current state of being and whatever, because that's just... I had a brain fart. I don't remember what I was talking about now. Whatever, who cares? Charlie Sheen does this better, doesn't he? Poetry. Am I going to read that to you yet? Do you even want to hear it? Do you care? Are you even still watching? Of course not. I remember what I was talking about. I was just saying the state of affairs that society is in, it seems most places, and I've been a lot of places, is that people are resentful of themselves. They see themselves as their worst possible enemy, and I say this a lot, and I'm going to keep saying it because I need to remember it myself. If you ever think that you're your worst enemy, then you are greatly mistaken. If you think your worst enemy, all that this means is not that you're even close to being the greatest danger on the earth to yourself. It just means that your greatest current danger is your arrogance. Because to think that you can be your own worst enemy, there really is no thought more arrogant than this. And it's as simple as that. It really is as simple as that, and it's so easy to forget that in a world where we're constantly being distracted, and people want us to forget it, and people want to forget it themselves, because sometimes it's like you can't hear it, It's when the air conditioner goes off or the ceiling fan, all of a sudden that silence becomes noise. But it's always there. This is never really a true silence. There's just a lack of will to listen. I'm going to read you this piece of poetry that I wrote today. Here, I'm going to actually... Hold on, give me a second. I need to balance my senses, You get to watch me suck a phallic symbol. I'm going to jerk off to that image myself later. I also need to plug marijuana. While I'm not dependent on it, it does not control my life. It does significantly contribute to the well-being of my existence because, well, wouldn't say I believe in God, but I would say that I think the earth is really a fantastic animal. I think it's a beautiful animal, and I think it's a prime example of what all living and conscious beings should strive to be, and that is an unconditionally loving, endlessly giving organism. Because that's what the earth is. All that it does is give and give and give. It gives us oxygen and food and everything. And gives us little fucking oranges. You know, everything's wrapped up like presents. I mean, it's a beautiful planet, and it does love us. I mean, if you don't, that's the problem, is people don't feel the fact that the earth itself emits love. I mean, that's where it comes from. It's where everything comes from. And I understand why people would be scared of love. You know, it can be painful when you feel like the air conditioner stops. But that's the problem, is people aren't really not really allowed to be independent anymore. You have to be dependent on an ideal or a person, or the ideal of a person, and without them, existence is an existence without love. And that's simply not true. It's a more difficult existence, but it is never a more loveless existence. Love is infinite. That's why it's love. There's never not enough of it. There's just never enough of it being expressed or acknowledged. Perhaps is a better way to put it. It's funny, like, I'm talking, but I really have no idea what I'm saying right now. It'd be interesting to watch this later, because I'm forgetting every word I say as I say it. Feels good, though. Like, I said this earlier, because I've been doing this all night, but it's a lot like vomiting or shitting or something, or ejaculating or something of that sort, you know. And it's just like, there's a mess, and I'm not trying to look at it, I'm not paying attention to it, it's just gotta come out, so it's gonna go somewhere. It's going right in your face, so I hope you like how it tastes. Shit. Fire. Anyway, yeah, sorry, I was saying, the earth, it loves us, and it gives us all these things, and it has also given us one very special thing called cannabis. And, you're about to see how it's used by somebody who has a lot of practice with using it. I might cough. That's not because I haven't had enough practice. It might be because I've had too much. Anyway, what you're supposed to do is you light it, right? You light it, you make fire. This one has a child safety lock in case you're selling lighters to children. And you put your finger over the carburetor, which is this little hole, and you light the fire, and you suck the flame so that it goes down and burns the marijuana, and the smoke of the marijuana goes into the pipe, and you release your finger rapidly. This is where it gets interesting. You release your finger rapidly, and the smoke will be pulled through the pipe into your mouth and then into your lungs, and the cherry that's burning at the top of it will ignite farther and farther, and you'll get more smoke and thus more of an effect. The effect is... How do you describe the effect of marijuana? I guess you could describe it as addictive, but you could describe sex as addictive. I should get this a little closer. It's not as good as sex, obviously, but well, it can be better than sex. I mean, you have sex with the wrong person. I'd rather just get high.